All right, now that you guys know how to upload different kinds of photos, we are going to go over the different types of layers. Layers are extremely important in Photoshop, and one of the most important things about your layers is to keep them organized. There are going to be four different kinds of layers. It's going to be a background layer, a type layer, an adjustment layer, and a fill layer. So I'm going to teach you how to do all of those things. If you noticed when you first pulled up a new Photoshop document, you will have one layer already, and that's going to be your background layer. I want you to do absolutely nothing with your background layer. Just let it sit. Don't edit it. Don't do anything with it. Just keep your background layer fresh, clean. Just don't touch it. But what I want you to learn about the layers first and foremost is that there are two different things that's automatically on that layer itself. One is an eyeball, and this toggles the visibility, but you can only toggle the visibility and add effects and adjustments and basically edit any part of your layer if the lock key is off. So there's a little lock on the right hand side of your layer. You can click it, and that's when everything becomes not grayed out, so you can adjust a lot of it. So I'm going to keep that lock key on my layer, my background layer, which is going to be right here, this little lock key. The name did change from background layer to layer 0 because I did edit it. So just keep that in mind. To add a new layer, what you are going to do is you are going to click this little plus sign with a square. That's how you add a new layer. It's going to be transparent. Nothing's going to be on it. The first thing I want you to do, as we already learned, we're going to add a picture. I'm going to place embed, so I'm going to do File, Place Embed. I'm not picking the pictures for anything special. They're just the pictures that I have on my computer from other projects I was working on. So I'm going to click this check mark to say this is exactly how I want my photo. And the first thing, as you can see, is embedded because you can see this little logo here. First thing I want to do is I'm going to rename my layer. This is really, really important to keep all of your layers organized, so I want you to name every single layer that you use. It's just a really good habit to have. So to do that, you just double click on the name, and it's going to turn blue, and it's going to be editable as long as you don't have that lock on your layer already. So I'm going to name this Storage Doors. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add an adjustment layer. So something about Photoshop that I absolutely love is that it allows me to see what each button does, even if I don't know what it does, by just hovering over it. So this little half circle here is to create a new fill or adjustment layer. So I want to turn this layer into an adjustment layer. So I'm going to click on it, and I am going to change it to black and white. So I am adjusting my layer. Doesn't matter what you do with it. That's just what, you know, that's adding the adjustment. So I'm going to go back down here, layers, and I can see that there is now an adjustment sign next to it. So this is an adjustment layer that I have. That's how it shows. So I'm going to put that adjustment layer for Storage Doors. Don't take my example. You don't have to name things that long. I'm just trying to be super specific so you guys can kind of understand. The next layer that I'm going to do is I am going to add a fill layer. So I'm going to go back to that same little half circle there, and I am going to add solid color. So as you can see, this added a color fill. So this is a fill layer. So I can pick whatever color I want. It's going to bring this up. I actually really like that pink. So we're going to put it like that. And you're going to say, what the heck? I can't see anything that's going on in the background. Perfect. Great example. All you have to do to reorganize your layers is to click and drag. Photoshop made that super easy, so I'm going to put that underneath my Storage Doors. Because, this is a really good example also, because I brought that all the way to the bottom, it is now underneath my adjustment layer. So because it's under my adjustment layers, everything that falls underneath that adjustment layer turns, or the adjustment layer, does what it does to anything underneath it. So that was a really good example. So now I have a fill layer, I have a embedded layer, I have an adjustment layer, and I have a background layer too. And the last one I'm going to have you guys do today is a text layer. So we haven't really touched on any of the tools yet. So this is going to be the first tool we learn. It's going to be our horizontal type tool. So I am going to do that. I'm just going to click that tool, and I'm going to click once, and it's going to bring up my text. So I'm going to put hello. I'm going to drag that up so that I can show you that I can change the color of it. So I'm going to double click it up top, or in your properties panel, you can change the character. So like I said, up top, you're going to have this, and then to the right, you're going to have something that says properties. If you can't find properties, you can always go to window and pull up the properties panel. That's where you're going to find all of your panels. So I want to make that really big. I'm just going to make it 60. I'm going to change the color of it. My favorite color is yellow, so I'm going to change it to a yellow color. And let's make the text a little funky. So let's find something cool. How about this one? So I have a type layer now, text layer. So those are some layers. I hope I got you familiar with some of them. So like I said, this is it says indicates text layer. This one indicates an adjustment layer. This one indicates that I have a picture here. That little, has a smart object, and it says that it's embedded. This one is a fill layer, and this one is a background layer. So, like I said, your layers are super duper important. They're a huge part of how Photoshop works, so getting to know your layers as fast as you can is going to be super helpful for you. I think that's it that I have on layers. And I can't wait to see you guys next time.